In the last lecture, we had studied some of our individual structures which you would be required to solve in the various type of group tasks under the group task officer of the SSP process. Today, we'll be doing the group task solution students exercise in which you will be required to solve 7 structures which would be a combination of all the structures you have already studied yesterday. So, let's start with it. The practical application of the group task solutions. The candidate is provided 4 tasks which a group is to resolve one by one, stepwise from one stage to the other. The group members are to contribute an idea of solving and help in creating the structure as well as helping group members move from the starting point to the finish point. The illustration is given in picture, both of the tasks given and possible solution structure to structure to structure, so that for your better understanding. So we shall start with our first task. Friends, you can see here, this present here is the starting line and this is the finishing line. These are all the structures which are a bit incomplete, and you have to use these helping materials provided to you like the plank, the iron rod and the rope to pass from the starting line to the finishing line. So we shall start. Firstly, I would explain you myself from this picture what is my understanding, and then we'll see the individual slides which will help you in better understanding the process. Firstly, we'll take the plank and keep on top of these 2 wooden poles which will create a sort of bridge which can be used to pass from the starting line to this point here till the second log. So you can see, friends, here we have kept the plank on the starting line and on the first log, which will help creating a bridge that will help you to move on. In the next slide, friends, you can see that the plank has been picked up from the starting line and kept on top of the 2 wooden logs that will help you move further. Friends, in the next slide you can see, as in the picture we have first seen, there are 2 platforms provided here for you to just pass on, and then we are provided with 2 large wooden poles with 2 iron rings in them which have been attached on the outside. What we'll do, friends, here is that we'll take a wooden log which would be provided to you. It is not a wooden log, I'm sorry, it is a iron rod which has been provided to you, which would be of the optimum length required. What we'll do is we'll keep the iron rod we'll insert it between the 2 rings that will balance it, and further in the structure you can see a somewhat hashtag type of structure. We are given a gap, an optimum gap between these 2 logs, which you can obviously understand that we'll keep the plank we have been given with on this rod we have placed, and between this gap that will balance it and create a sort of bridge to pass on. Yes, friends, so what I have explained you is similar to this. We'll insert the iron rod in the iron rings, then we'll keep the plank on top of the iron rod and between the gap provided to us, which will create a sort of bridge which can be used by all the candidates to pass through to the finishing line. So friends, here our first structure is completed. Yes, a bit last thing that I want to tell you all, because we have to take the plank with us, and these resources in an actual mission cannot be left behind. So this also speaks about the resourcefulness of the group. We cannot leave this plank behind and also the iron rod. So what we'll do is the last member that will pass through the task is will do that he will take out this iron rod from between the iron rings and also pick up the plank. He will keep it on top of this single wooden log, which will also be created a bridge which can be used to pass through, and then they can retrieve the plank carefully. So here finally we complete the first task. Okay friends, so see carefully, this is our group task 2. It is a bit more complicated than the first one, but it will surely help you understand group task better. Here also I'll first make you recognize all the structures. This is the starting line, this is the finishing line. These are two A structures, a drum, another drum, two logs with the metal rings we have seen in the last example. Then a seesaw type structure which is not balanced, inverted U-shaped structure, a wide platform that can be used to step on, and another wide structure. And here it is a plus sign structure with a rod projection being given out. What we are provided with is a plank, an iron rod, and a rope. So let's start with solving this structure. Firstly, friends, you can see that the iron rings have been provided on these two wooden poles. What we'll do is we'll insert the iron rod obviously in these iron rings, which will support it. Then another thing we'll do, friends, is we'll take the plank, we'll keep it on this drum. You can see a drum is also provided beneath the iron rings. What we'll do is we'll keep the plank one side on this wooden drum, and the rod will support it from above, and the second end of the plank will be kept under this seesaw structure. And because seesaw structure has a weight, this whole structure, the bridge we have created, will be balanced. Moving on to the next slide, friends, you can see here we have kept the one side of plank on this drum. It is being pushed down by the iron rod, and the structure is balanced very carefully. We can see this seesaw type structure. It is also kept beneath the plank, due to which it is also balanced, and easily we can see that when the group will move forward, the seesaw would tend to disbalance, but because we have kept something on top and balanced it and fixed it in its position, we can easily use it to pass through. And friends, let me just carefully remind you, be very careful for the colors of the structures provided to you. Like here you can see we have got a red mark. The R letter indicates a red mark, which usually means that no material or human body part can touch this portion. So what we'll do is we'll carefully take big steps, or also if possible can jump from this seesaw structure to the next inverted U-shaped structure. As you can see, the candidate is doing, he is jumping over the red portion so that he does not touch it, because we know that if we touch the red colored structure, we have to start over again, and the task would be disqualified from that portion. Moving on to the next, friends, what we'll do is, this is another way to pass through. If the inverted U-shaped structure is at a longer distance than usually we all can jump, then what we'll do is we can also apply our resourcefulness at this point, because we'll retrieve the iron rod from here, and then what we'll do is we'll keep the iron plank just before the red colored region, and take the plank, another plank, we'll tie a rope around it, which will obviously increase its height above the red structure. It will not touch the red structure, red colored region, and also the other end would be placed on the inverted U-shaped structure. This will create a stable bridge and we can pass on. So friends, here you can see this was the white platform we were talking about. A person can stand here, there's no problem in that. The inverted U-shaped structure is present. The plank is kept on this one side, is kept on the inverted U-shaped structure, and further we can see these two A-shaped structures, and as you can imagine very well, we'll obviously keep an iron rod between the gap we are provided in this A structure, an iron rod beneath the plank, other side of plank, that will balance it and create a bridge. So you can see, friends, this was what I was explaining. We have adjusted a log between the gap of the A structures, and one side of the plank is on the inverted U-shaped structure and the other side is beneath the rod we have inserted. What it will do is that when you will start walking from here, obviously the plank will tend to disbalance or move apart, but what we have done is, because of the weight of this rod and the adjustment we have done, it will be fixed and we can easily pass on to the next step. Further, we can see a drum here. The other end of the plank can be placed on the drum, that will give more stability to the bridge. Moving next, friends, I told you about this plus shaped structure with a projection outside. What we'll do is, this is again the white platform which we can stand on. What we'll do is, we'll keep one part with one end of the plank on the drum, which was the other part in the last slide. We'll keep the first side of the plank on this drum now, and the other end we'll keep on this plus shaped structure on top of the plus shaped structure. It would be balanced enough because of the same height of both the drum and the plus sign. It will be balanced and straight, and we can easily pass on to the plus sign. Then friends, again, let's just come back to the last slide. Here you can also see a white platform ahead of the plus sign structure. So the candidates can easily get off from the plank and stand on this white structure and pass on. And friends, like in the last task, I reminded you about the resourcefulness of the group task, which would be required from you all. The last person to finish this task would obviously keep the ropes and planks with him also. So what he'll do is, the plus sign structure, it is a side view. You can see here what I told you about, a projection has been given out in it. So what we'll do is, we'll keep a plank on this platform created and balance it on the top from this projection which is already given in the structure. It will create a way for the last person to pass on to the finish line, and hence our task would be completed with all the resources in hand. Thank you very much.
So after completing the first two tasks, let's proceed to the third task. Okay, so here candidates, we have two ways to pass through it. As per the condition, we could decide any of the way. There, as we can see that this way is the most easiest and most preferable way, but as per the command we will hear, so we could choose any of the way. So let's deal with this first way. How we are going to solve this way. So as we have looked there are two plank kind of conditions. So we could use our rods and we could use this rope as well there. And immediately we will use our plank also, and then we are going to cross this first obstacle. Now next, as we have seen, there is another task. We have seen this in individual command task as well. There is a rotating jar which we could use to stabilize our plank. So what will happen then? We are going to rotate it first, and then we are going to apply our plank over it, and hence we are going to make a bridge, and then we are going to cross it over. Now next, after this, what we are going to do is, we have seen that two of the obstacles are cleared. Now there is a supportive area. These are white areas, and as we all know that in white area we could do anything, but red area is the restricted area. We can't get over that red area. We can't use that as our conditions. So what we are going to do here is, we are going to support our plank with the help of a rod, and then it is not a rod, it is a log kind of obstacle, and we are going to use it as our asset. So now we are going to, and as we are going far better, we have to also think about it, that all the obstacles which are helpful to us, we have to collect it as well. So after doing this, as we are seeing this, the boy is going there, and also the other guys have their own duty to collect that obstacles which are useful, which are in need. So we could use in another task as well. Okay, now this is the second route of doing this same situation, doing this same from the starting line. This is the second starting line, and this is our second route. This is white area. We could use our rope, okay, in white area, so that we will not touch this red area. After this, we will use our plank. We have seen in previous situations as well. Okay, after this, we are going to use this plank in further obstacles, so that we could pass through it, making a bridge. Okay, after this, yes, after this we are applying a rope in further two obstacles. We are saying this two wooden, this could be a wooden obstacle as well as this could be metallic. So it simply shows that it is a stable, organized obstacle. Then we could apply ropes in over it, and then we are using our plank to just make a bridge, so we could cross it easily. Okay, after it, yes, after it, as I said, that one by one we are going to deal with this obstacles, and later on, when while finishing the task, we are going to use our obstacles and we are going to use our whatever the resources are given to us. We are going to collect it as well. So we are going to finish this group task number 3. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now let's continue with our group task 4. So here we can see that there are two routes. So first we'll go for this one. So as you can see, a drum type of structure is kept here. Then we can see two poles with some external outcomes, so that plank should be fixed. These are small hints which could be taken, what should be done. Then again we can see a pole, so that again a bridge can be formed. So let's see about this in detail. As we move, we could place the plank on the drum so that we could move forward. As one reaches on the drum, they would place the wooden log on this pole so that wooden log could be balanced and one could form a bridge type of structure. So after forming the structure, one could balance themselves on the drum and the plank could be placed so that one could move forward with the task. Then here we can see a seesaw type of structure. So a seesaw type of structure is usually creates disbalance among the candidates. So what we can do is we could place a plank over the seesaw kind of structure so that the disbalance could be managed in the efficient way, and one could make a path also from the structure and could move forward. So now taking the another route which was shown in the initial picture, as we can see an external outcome on the pole, so we could place the plank on this external outcome, and also we could place the plank on this drum which was kept ahead of this so that a bridge could be formed. So after forming a bridge, as we could see, one needs to move forward, and here we can also see the color schemes, but as we can see on white we could keep the material and we could see it ourselves also. So we could place the plank one on one side on the drum and the other side on the white color so that a smooth way can be formed to move ahead. As the candidate reaches on the white color of one side of this wooden plank or ground, whatever it can be said, he would place the plank on other white color strip so that the candidate could move forward. Again, here the point to be careful that red color is mentioned, so candidate is trying his best to avoid not to step on that color and directly placing the plank on the third strip. So after placing the strip, we can see that the candidate have placed the plank on this white color and the other side is placed on this small pole which is fixed on the ground, so that a direct bridge could be formed for the finish line. Also, another route can be taken by placing the plank not on this small pole but by placing the plank on the above side of this cross-like structure and fixing it with a rope, so that the last person which remains could also take the plank and other belongings with himself. Thank you. I hope all the structures should be clear, and this would also help the candidates for their GTO tasks and also improve their performance. Thank you.